Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my first of a series of Papercraft tutorial videos. As I said that this was going to be a series of videos that I was going to do, this is probably going to be the first of many. So the first thing to say obviously is what is Papercraft, why am I doing this, and so on. Papercraft is kind of, it's just basically making stuff out of paper. It's kind of like origami, except the focus is not completely on folding. Like origami has all this kind of tradition sort of rules thing where like you pretty much all you can do is fold. If you cut it, it's a different type of origami. If you add pieces together, it's a different type of origami. But with Papercraft, you can pretty much do whatever you want with the paper and just make stuff with it. So it kind of allows you to do a lot more on different things and stuff like that. So that's why I'm doing the tutorials on Papercraft and on origami. Now, like basically more on what it is that you basically make whatever you want. So say like this is basically what episode one is going to make. It's just this cube with the, like, basically if this was a Rubik's cube, this would be like the top one of the corners kind of missing. That's all this one is, and you can make this out of paper. That's going to be what episode 1 focuses on. Then you can like make stuff like using like cylinders and stuff like that. You can make this kind of treasure chest thing out of origami, Papercraft. Then you can go kind of even really complex and make a kind of glider thing like this out of Papercraft, and so stuff like that. So yeah, that's this video. Okay, so I suppose the way I should start this off is basically what you will need to basically do this. The most obvious thing is a pencil. You need a pencil to obviously draw stuff out and then cut it out. You will need a hobby knife or a scissors to cut it out at the end. I recommend a hobby knife just because it's more accurate. You'll need like a glue stick type thing to obviously stick it together so it doesn't just fall apart. You can use tape, but it looks better when you just use glue and like tabs, because you don't have tape sticking on the outside. In future videos you'll need a compass, because it helps you kind of get things very, very accurate, because if you, especially one when you have like a wheel thing to open it, because then you can just leave it like that, it keeps the distance and you can kind of use that to like do many distances of that. It keeps it very accurate. And instead of a ruler, I would recommend using a set square, because you know you have the 90-degree angle here, you have the kind of ruler section here, 30-degree angle here, 60-degree there. So there's so many possibilities with this. That's what makes it better than the ruler. And of course you'll need card or paper. I recommend card more because here's a comparison. This thing is made out of paper. These bits are made out of card, but paper, you see, you can just kind of, it's very squishy, this box shape here. While you have this cube, it's very kind of solid, barely moves at all. So, you know, it makes stuff out of card really works better for you. So yeah, that's the kind of starting off thing. And then what we're going to be making in this, and the start of it, is this. This is basically just a cube out of Papercraft with this bit cut out. Basically, this is 6 centimeters across, and then you have a 2 centimeter cube cut out of the corner. It's kind of like a Rubik's cube. It's made out of like 27 cubes. Take one out of the corner. Now, if you're wondering like how I basically designed this, is that I drew it out on here on this piece of paper. I just I think it's a thing called isometric projection, where basically instead of just drawing like the front of the cube, it just looks like that. Apart from like you having a line here and here, it's just a cube. Same from this angle, except it's up here. If you look at it from here, it's just down here. So you can't really see that what this actually is if you just look at it face on. But if you draw it at an angle, you can actually see that the cube is missing out of it. And as you can see here, it has some of the measurements on it, which is pretty much exact to what it is. So that's what we're going to be making. That's the original like drawing. And if you're wondering how to do this, I'll probably draw some of these in future videos. But if you're wondering how to basically design it out, you know, you just basically draw a baseline as seen here, and then use that to like make the angles. And then you draw two 30-degree axes, one here and then one on this side, and then from there you just use your 30 degrees as basically two of the axes, and then obviously straight up vertical is the other axis, and then you can just draw it out like that, and it makes things very clear to know what you're doing, especially when planning it out. Now I'm just going to kind of turn the sheet of paper around, and basically you can see I drew it on a marker over the pencil that I used. But I'm just in the corner, I'm going to basically quickly like doodle out what how this is going to work in Papercraft, because the basic way Papercraft works is you design it out like that, and then from there you draw it onto paper flat, you cut that out, and then you fold it up to hopefully make the thing that you drew out in the start, which in this case worked out very well. So what we're going to start off with is basically like, this is at its base level, this is a cube. So you know, how do you basically flatten out a cube? I think everyone knows how to like open up the dice cube, and basically all you do is basically, look, you start off with kind of 4 cubes. That basically makes 4 of the faces. When this kind of folds up all over there, you basically have a box cylinder, and then all you do to make it a dice is just stick 2 of these on, because this is going to fold up to make a cylinder and these 2 fold up to make the sides, and that makes a box. But you might be wondering, like, how do you include this bit that's missing on that design? And how you do that is it actually helps to look at this, in that basically you call this the base here. Let's just call that the base. That's in the design what this bit is. That's in the design basically what the bottom of this cube is. And then, you know, this is going to fold up to become the back, and this is going to fold up to become the front, and this is going to fold up to become the top. So basically what you do is, to make one of the corners come out, is you basically just split this into 3, both sides. You know, that's just roughly 3. I'm going to draw it out more accurately for you in a moment. And basically you draw this kind of shape here, and then you draw the same one here. And again, that's just like a third, that's just the third, and you see when this folds up and this folds up, they'll kind of make part of that, and then the other bit is going to be here, the bit on the bottom, and again split it into thirds, and then that's it pretty much. And then when you fold that up, you see this line here is going to kind of fold over, join onto this one at the top. This one's going to fold up with this one to make the side, and all comes together to make this bit here. And yeah, that's the kind of basic design thing of Papercraft. This video is probably going to be very long because I'm explaining all the kind of basics and stuff like this. I'm not going to do this in every video. We'll pretty much just get down to the drawing, accurate drawing, after this. So anyway, we have our main design here, and we're going to use this again to kind of just help us figure out where things are going to go in the actual drawing. We have our measurements here. It's just basically a 6 by 6 by 6 centimeter cube, and we're taking a 2 by 2 by 2 centimeter cube out of one of the corners. So obviously I'll just take this piece of paper away for a sec. I'll show you the camera's not at a great angle, I know, I'm really sorry, and this is probably the best I could do. So every time I draw something, I'm going to like lift up the sheet and kind of show it to the camera. If I can lift up the sheet, look at it. I'm going to show it to the camera more clearly. But basically the way you're going to do is that this whole design will kind of fit out on this whole sheet of card, and you're going to have to basically, it's going to use the whole kind of holding up the piece of paper portrait style. You're basically going to have 4 cubes in a row stacked up this way, and then one on this side, one on this side. Make sure you put it in the middle so you leave enough space to leave kind of tabs so it'll all stick together. So basically what you start off with is just using your set square, is just a big line sort of down the center of the page. like so. And then from this, you're just going to go across, measure like 6 centimeters from here across, and then draw another line all the way down. And then you have just a column that's 6 centimeters. So, okay, 6. And the easiest way to do that is basically to just, at the top, measure 6 across, at the bottom, measure 6 across, and then join up the two measurement things. So, we just do that, and we just join up those two bits, basically. So you're left with just a column straight down the page that's 6 centimeters long, and then kind of just in the middle of this, don't use the very top, just make sure you have basically what 6 by 4 is, which is 24 centimeters, and then just mark those positions. 1 up here and then 24 down on your ruler. Also mark the points in 6 centimeters down, so the 6 mark, the 12 mark, and the 18 mark. So you see you have your mark, that's the starting mark, that's 6 centimeters down, that's another 6 centimeters down, another 6 centimeters down, and then the final 6 centimeters down there. Then what you do is, using the right angle on your set square, and this line here as a guide, just do a line directly across at the top from your opening kind of start mark, and then that's your, and then you have basically a right angle across, and there's your start mark on this side, and then you just do the same kind of down here, measure 6, 12, 18, 24. What you do is you basically just join this little mark up to that mark, and just keep doing it all the way down, and I'll show you the result of that. And then what you have basically is your 4 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then all you need to do is add 1 square here and 1 square here. So what you do is just basically the second line down, just extend this line all the way across here and extend the line below it all the way across, and then we're just going to join it up here and make the other box. After that, the rest is kind of more papercraft stuff and less drawing. Okay, so we have our line across. So you can see basically there what you get. All you do is from the second box down here, measure 6 across here, and then 6 across here from this point. Do the same on that side, and then join up your 2 6 marks down there, and you have basically the full square design. Then we're going to work on adding in the bits that make up this inner bit here, and basically the corner that we're going to put it on is basically this one. So we're going to put it here, as I did in the kind of like the quick doodle bit here, and then here, because it will all match up nicely. Like, say looking at it as, say, this one, this is the exact same size. And think of it as, we'll call this A, we'll call this face of the cube A, we'll call the base B, and you can see you have basically A, B, and anyway, and then this is C, then we have D, C, D, and then E and F, E and F. So basically that's the thing flat out. As you can see, the C kind of folds down there, your D will kind of fold over the C, and you see come here, your E folds down there, F is going to fall down here, and then your A is going to fall down onto that bit. So you can sort of see then what we need to do. The bits that are affected by this part are E, A, and D, because obviously D, E, and A. So just by like placing the face of A onto this card, you can see, like, you can sort of see in there that it's going to be this corner here. By placing E over it, it's going to be this corner, and all the way down in B, it's going to be the bottom corner here. So yeah, anyway, enough of that, and let's get on to actually doing that. So you bring your set square back into play, and then all you do is from the kind of top here, just measure 2 across, 2 down from this one here, and then kind of just bring it across, bring it up, and then you have your little square in the corner. So I'm just going to do that now. 2 and 2 as I send my marker flying off the desk. You're just going to as you can see, you're left with that bit in the A bit, and I'll talk more about how you add tabs onto this so it fits together nicely and which one of these lines you cut to kind of put it together correctly. But now we'll do the E, which is basically this corner here, and again all you do is go 2 across, 2 down, and then just make the cube there. There you can see we have our cube there, and then the final one goes on D in this bottom corner here. So you just measure 2 up from this one, 2 across from this one, and then join it up. So anyway, yeah, there we have it. D is done, and you can see A and B up, A and E up there are done as well. Now you basically have the full design done on the piece of paper. All you need to do now is think about basically how it's going to stick together, because if you just fold this up, nothing's joining A to E when you like where's A and E, nothing's kind of joining it here. So basically you're going to put a tab on either one of these so that when you put it together it'll like glue together using your glue stick. So basically what you do there is, this is all freehand with the tabs. The easiest way to do it is, look, this is the base of the cube, so that's the bottom always. So you basically work from the base, and what's going to happen when you fold the cube is C, A, E and F are going to fold up to make the basically sides, and then you're just left with the top, which is this, which then folds over that. So the easiest way to do that is to just put tabs here and here. And since you're going to be using this to make the little corner bit on the cube, you just put a tab there. And you just make it kind of roughly that shape. It doesn't really matter how accurate you are, just don't make it huge, otherwise it'll be awkward, really awkward to do. Just make it so that it's a decent like sized like chunk, so that it'll stick nicely. And then we put one on the bottom here as well. And you make this one the full length because this isn't affecting here. Then you kind of do the same over here, except we use the full length on this one also. And you can see they're all different sizes, all the tabs, it doesn't really matter. When I'm cutting it out, I'll kind of even them out a bit, it doesn't really matter. So then we have a tab to join here to here, we have a tab to join here to here, here to here, here to here. Really all we need now is a tab to join D to A. And we'll just put that tab up on A, up here. And you can see that tab is going to link in with this bit, and it'll all kind of work out reasonably well. And then we just have to work out on the other side of the roof and how they'll plan out. So we'll put a tab here, and that'll just join that bit to this line here. And then we'll put a bit on here at this bit. And we'll just kind of use the edge of the page to make a nice tab. And that's pretty much it. Everything's going to fold together nicely now, except we have to worry about the bit in the middle, how they're going to tab together nicely. And this actually took a bit of planning to do when I was designing this, but in the end it actually works out really nicely with the tabs. All you do is just add a tab onto each of these corners. So you add one tab here, one tab here. I just make them kind of points, triangles off the edge. You just make a point there. You see point, point, and then the bottom you just go. And there you have your whole basic design. That everything's going to tab together nicely now. And yeah, that's it. So draw that if you can. Sorry if this has been a really bad tutorial. It's going to take a while for me to kind of get used to filming this and like how much I should move the page towards the camera and so on. But anyway, yeah, that works out nicely. Again, the key to the tabs is just don't make them massive, and don't make them really small. Just make them so that it'll be nice. Like you're going to be using a kind of glue stick on it, so that you can't actually like put it on it easily, and it'll tab together nicely, and it won't just fall apart. So I'm going to cut this out now with my hobby knife. And again, the key with cutting it out is just be very careful when you're on these bits like here. If you cut like across here, that's gonna like kind of wreck the thing. The tabs don't really matter that much if you kind of mess up where you've drawn them. Just make sure you don't leave it with no tab. And watch the corners, especially on this bit here. And I'm not going to show you me cutting it out because it's going to take a while. It is just one of the things where if you concentrate, focus on everything you've drawn, only cut out what you need to. The key is don't cut any of these lines yet. So on these bits, don't cut any of those two lines, or cut there obviously. Just cut around the edge, make the whole design, and I'll show you in a moment what that is. Okay, so I finished cutting out now, and what it should look like is basically this. You know, you have all the tabs basically on their own. You have the main just thing there and all the tabs, and then basically what you're going to do is, like, obviously this is the base. Just focus on that being the bottom. Obviously, like, and then just make your folds at the start. That's how you start putting together. Make your folds. So this just kind of fold it, and then that's where that's going to go. That's F. Fold E, and obviously E is going to make this side. Fold A up, and you know you have it's starting to kind of look like a cube. Fold C up, and you have basically the whole cube. And then just along this line, fold C and D. If you press really hard with your pencil when you actually draw these kind of main lines, it actually really helps you when folding it. You don't have to kind of like angle it so it works out. It kind of, you have the kind of crease from the pencil mark, and it helps like fold it. So that's a little tip there for you. And then, like, you see, everything's just going to come together like that. That's your cube. You just have to focus on fitting it all together. Then just fold your tabs in. What's going to happen is you fold on E. You see AE. You fold this tab just in like that. And what's going to happen is, when you fold these bits up, you're just going to glue that there, and that's going to make that work out. So then you also fold in this tab on the bottom, and then just do that with all the tabs, the main tabs on the outside. Just fold most of them in. Don't worry about these kind of pointy ones yet, I'll explain those in a moment. So fold all your kind of main tabs here, like here. Fold all them in. And this just really helps you, like having them folded before you start gluing it together, because it's just going to help so much when putting it together. Not having to fold it in the middle of that. Because with any papercraft thing, even just making a simple cube, it is actually just a bit of awkward thing. It's easy in the end, but it's just awkward doing it. And basically there you have it. Like, now that the tabs are out of the way, you can see it's sort of starting to come together. As you can see here, like, this is going to join up, link with those two tabs. When D folds down, it'll glue there and there, and it'll glue on there. Now we just have to work on basically the complex bit of it is just the corner. Like, how do these fold down to make that? And the key to this is actually knowing which one of these lines to cut on each of them. You just cut one line, make the incision so it'll fold along this line or that line. And the easiest way to do that is that D is the roof of the cube, basically. It can't become, see, D is the roof of the cube. Its tab can't become this one on the bottom, so it has to be either the left or right kind of side one. And from that, you basically just then decide, is A or E going to become the bottom one? So your choice is pretty much made up for you in that case. So here, what we're going to do is basically, obviously this is A in its position. We're actually going to cut A along this one, so it'll fold down here. So I'll just make that cut immediately. So like all you do with this cut is just cut along that line up to here, and then you can fold this bit down. And you see that's going to become the bottom bit of this, so that's going to become there, you can see there. And then from there, what you're going to do is like these gonna, you can sort of see it here. That's the bottom one. I'm gonna okay here. E is going to swing this way, so we're going to cut it along this line here. Whoops, camera fell over again. And then we fold that along the line we've just made. And you can see that, obviously, here we have A, it's the bottom bit of that corner, and that's going to become the, if we compare it, this bit on E is going to become this bit here. So that means all we have to do for D, when it, look, you can see it folding over, it actually has to fold down and become the right side wall here. So we just cut D along this line here. And then fold it. And then as you can see, like when it all kind of comes together, you basically have your thing. The tabs make it look a bit awkward, but you can see it comes together to make the thing just not as neat looking right now. Now you have, basically you just have to fold these pointy tabs into the correct position. Hold the tabs folded. I'm just going to go over this again. So with A, you fold the top tab down, side tab up. With E, you fold the top tab down, side tab up. That's E. Yeah. With D, you fold the bottom tab here up, and then the side tab down. Now let's put it together. And it's actually best to start off with the confusing corner, which is where A and E join together. So the easiest thing to do is actually just stick this tab down first. So here's my grit stick. I think this should actually work well because it's actually green, so it actually shows up where I put it. So on E, just put some glue on this tab here, as you can see. And then all you do is, you see we're joining A and E together. Put this in here like that. And then press it down, it dries really quickly, and you have your A and E corner joined. You can see how the tab works, it just sticks to the wall of A, and then you have the main corner done. So this one's going down, this one's going to the side, and then just focusing on this bit for a second, put glue on this one and just kind of tab it in there so it sticks nice there. And that's what we're going to do. And if you don't use green glue, it won't look really messy on the outside. So you see that's stuck down there. And then you can see this is still E here. The tab on A is actually in front of it. So what we're going to do is just, you tuck that basically behind here, and then it's going to glue to there. So all you do is put glue on the tab here. But this is where it gets a bit awkward. You're trying to kind of hold it together and glue at the same time. But it works out in the end. It's not overly difficult. And then all you do is just attach that there. And you see that it's starting to come together, you can see. There. We have those two tabs done here, and then what you do is actually, it's probably easiest now to glue F onto A here. So glue this tab here. Glue this tab and then stick it here. Press it down, and there, look, it's really starting to come together now. And then it's time to glue C onto both of these tabs. So put glue on both of these tabs here. And then you just glue it down on one side first. It's the easiest way to do this. Just put your finger kind of in, tighten it down to the side, then focus on the other side. And do it. The key is basically getting the main structure together while you still have like the top open, and so you can actually like tighten it. That way it sticks together and you're only working with like difficult bits near the end. So like there we have the main thing. It's just basically all we have to do is put the roof down and then join the final part of this in here. So yeah. So you glue this tab. So let's just attach this one onto that. That helps. And then it's just kind of matter of just gluing it all together like so. You may need a little bit extra glue in parts. But pretty much there you have it. Like, there, you know, there it is, pretty much done. You know, I'm on camera here. It's just a bit awkward to kind of do it and keep it all in frame. Easy for you to see, but yeah, if you just kind of follow this, I think you get the idea of kind of how it goes together. You eventually get the hang of it, and there it is. You know, it's this one's more accurate. The original one I had, obviously, because I was looking from far away at the measurements, they were a bit off. But yep, I hope this was helpful to you. Hopefully the other videos won't be as long. If you an interesting thing I want to do with this is basically that if you followed this, if you've made your own version of this, please send a picture of your own one of these you made to me. Send it to the email address airspeedprime@gmail.com. Send a picture there, and at the start of my next video I'll actually show some of the other ones of these people made. It's a good way to kind of show off people who've actually like followed the tutorial. Next week what I'm going to do is I think I'm either going to do sloped surfaces and kind of triangles, or curved surfaces. Both will involve a little bit of math, using some formula to calculate distances, but for the most part it's very simple. So hopefully you followed this video. It was very confusing making this, so hopefully when I edit it together, cut out the parts where I was kind of just off camera doing stuff, it won't be as incredibly long and stuff like that. The final thing I'll leave off with is that you can actually make this thing where you take out this corner, and this corner. So just to show you this piece of paper, some designs I was doing. And you see, that's basically what it looks like on the top if you take out all four corners. You have the kind of cross shape on the top, all the corners missing, and the way you do that is like this, basically. You cut, on this bit you cut out those two sections, here on both sides here, bottom of these two sections and both sides here, and it all folds up nicely to get you that. It's very confusing with all the corners putting it together. Another idea I had was kind of making this shape here. which is again made of this kind of a Rubik's Cube type structure, but where lots of cubes are missing, and you make this nice step pattern where it's like 5 on the bottom, no, 6 bits on the bottom, 3 bits here, and then 1 bit here. And as you can see, it's kind of, when I designed it out, it's kind of confusing one to map out, so it'll work together nicely. I think this works here. This one I planned it out, so let me know if you want me to do one of these or just another one of the other ones. Okay, that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.